Dhailkhina? Dhailkhina. I think that's how it's pronounced. Who knows? And greetings everybody, and welcome to another JeSter Reviews. And today we will be reviewing the Dhailkhina. I think it's pronounced Dhailkhina, it could be Dhailkhina. Anyway, Command Strike Wing Warbird. And this is a T6-X. And I have to say, I really do like this ship. And for a lockbox ship, you would expect it to perform well, and it hasn't disappointed. This is actually the ship that was featured on Picard, and yes, I really do like this ship. I like the design. It's very quirky, and I do like quirky. Right, moving on quickly, let's have a look at the build. So, moving on to the build, this is a 5 weapons to the front, 2 weapons to the rear. And what I've actually tried to do with this build is, I've tried to put as many sets together as possible. So, in this particular instance, this is the Terran Task Force Disruptor Dual Heavy Cannons, and this is part of a 2-piece set with the ferrofluid hydraulic assembly. So the 2-piece set will give us, bear with me, let's have a look, 13.3% projectile weapon damage. We then have 2 Zat-Vash Disruptor Dual Beam Banks. I then have another set which is the Enhanced Biomolecular Photon Torpedo, and that's given us a 2% bonus all damage, and that's part of a 2-piece set with the Tactical Counter Command Multi-Conduit Energy Relay, and that's given us a 15.6 disruptor damage, and the 2-piece set is giving us another 7.5 bonus disruptor damage. Moving on to the Disrupt Wide Angle Dual Heavy Beam Bank, which is part of a 2-piece set with the Locus Custom Fire Control Console. And what we're getting there is more details. We also get another, I think it's, let me have a look, I think we get yeah, it's another 2% bonus all damage. So actually I can read off here, can't I? So we're getting plus 10% critical severity, plus 6% critical chance. Let's have a look. just picking out little bits for you. Plus 10% critical severity buff to self for 15 seconds, stacks up 3 times. Let's move on to have a look at what the set gives us. 2-piece set on crit, plus 1% critical severity buff for 20 seconds and stacks up to 25 times. On the rear we have an omnidirectional Zatvash disruptor beam array. Now I would like to give a big thanks to my Fleet Admiral Becky, who actually sent me this as a gift. Thank you very much, Becky. Yeah, that was really kind, and it's coming very, very useful. So thank you for that. Moving on to the House Martok disruptor, which again is part of a 2-piece set. And let's have a look at the details behind that, shall we? Plus 20 accuracy rating, buffs 2% chance, plus 10% critical severity buff to self for 15 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. Your weapon attacks cause enemy shields to receive 12% increased damage for 12 seconds. What does a 2 set give us? There we go. 2.5% critical chance and plus 15 accuracy rating. Right, deflector. The Elite Fleet Intervention Protomatter deflector. The prevailing innovated impulse engines. The mycelial harmonic singularity core. And the shields is the Tilly's Review pending modified shield. Moving on to the experimental weapons, the experimental carbon scorcher. Heavy kinetic damage, 360 degree targeting arc, 7,626.8 physical damage, 762.7 physical damage, ignore shields, minus 10 weapon power while this weapon is firing, minus 10 all damage resistance rating. 2% critical chance, plus 10% critical severity, 6-second recharge. Yes, I have to admit the jury's out on this at this moment in time. I'm unsure about it. I've used it a few times. I'm not overly impressed with it, but I'm going to stick with it and see how we go. Devices have a weapons battery large, red matter capacitor, and another weapons battery in the device slots. Universal consoles, we've spoken about the universal ferrofluid hydraulic assembly. Engineering consoles, we spoke about the House Martok defensive configuration, which is part of a 2-piece set with the Martok disruptor. I've also got the universal domino, which is plus 20 accuracy rating, 25% firing cycle haste, 25% bonus all damage, and 25% recharge speed. Trellium deplating and bioneural infusion circuits, which is, I'm using that for the 26.2 critical severity, if truth be known. And now I have the universal dynamic power redistributor module, which is part of a 2-piece set with the universal point defense bombardment warhead. And let's just have a look at that set. What's that giving us? 2-piece set is giving us a 33% disrupted damage. And moving on to the universal weapon sensor enhancer, which is giving me a plus 42 accuracy rating. Moving on to the tactical consoles, and this is the universal bombing run console, which comes with the ship, and this is giving me a further 17.1% disruptor damage and a 2.5% critical chance. And Summers artillery ship kinetic damage, 1 minute 30 seconds recharge. Oh, I can't say I've noticed that, but I'll have to have a look at that. The tachyokinetic converter, again 39.4 flight turn rate, 1.3 critical chance and 13.1 critical severity. We've spoken about the point defense bombardment warhead, and we've spoken about the counter command multi-conduit energy relay, and we've also what's going on here? Going mad. And we've spoken about the Lorca's custom fire control. Hangar pets. I've got the Hangar Elite Snakehead Fighter Squadron, which I acquired from my fleet, and I'd highly recommend updating them as well. Right, very quickly moving on to the statistics. Hull 125,566. Shields are in the 20,000 range, with resists in the early 30s. Accuracy rating 114. Critical chance 35.4 and critical severity 165.1. Now, what I did want to do here, I wanted to put in 4 vulnerability locators. Now, unfortunately, I won this ship on my Federation character, and I haven't acquired any vulnerability locators for disruptors from my fleet. So I'll be working on that, and hopefully I'll be putting in some vulnerability locators and chopping and changing some of these consoles as we go. Moving on to the stations, we have a Lieutenant Commander Universal Intelligence Station, which I've made science, so it can be quite flexible, can this build. We've got a Ensign Universal Station. We then have a Commander Tactical Command Station, and we have a Lieutenant Tactical Station, and then we have a Lieutenant Commander Engineering Station. Moving on to the masteries, we have Precise Weapon Systems, increased accuracy, +5 accuracy rating. Tier 2, Enhanced Singularity Circuitry, reduces the cooldown time on singularity power use by 50%, increases your singularity charge rate by 30%. That's interesting. Tier 3, Enhanced Weapon Systems, increased energy and kinetic damage, +10% kinetic damage, +10% energy damage. Tier 4, increased critical chance, +2.5 critical chance. And Tier 5, which is the trait Command Singularities, Command and Singularity abilities, summon micro singularities. When activating a command or singularity ability, spawns a singularity for 30 seconds, 285.6 kinetic damage per second, repel minus 0.54 per second, maximum once per 10 seconds. And one of the experimental traits that I've got, I put prefer targeting from my NX. Okay, what I would like to do now is I'd like to talk to you about budget weapons, as I've had a few subscribers contact me to ask me about where they can acquire some weaponry for free to play, and I very much appreciate that it is difficult to put together builds like I put together. I've been playing quite a long time, so I've just cobbled together some instances where you can actually acquire some free kit while playing the game. So the first one is from the Iconium War Story arc, Blood of the Ancients. If you complete this, well, 4 times if you want all 4, you can acquire the Resident Disruptor Beam Array, the Resident Transphasic Torpedo Launcher. I nearly slipped up on that one then. The Resident Disruptor Dual Heavy Cannons, and the console, which is the Tactical Harmonic Resonance Relay. So if you play Blood of the Ancients 4 times, it is a bit of a grind, but you can acquire this set. Okay, moving on to the next set of free weapons you can pick up, and you'll find this from the New Frontiers Echoes of Light story arc. And this is a cracking set, and it's free. As I say, you'll have to complete this 3 times, and the first part of the set is the Nausicaan Energy Torpedo Launcher. The second part of the set is the console, the Science Nausicaan Siphon Capacitor, and the next part of this set is the Nausicaan Disruptor Beam Array. Set powers. Set 2, the Nausicaan Weapon Augmentation. Disruptor net gains disruptor damage every 1 second for 5 seconds. Set 3, Nausicaan Power Initiative. This gives you a 26.6% disruptor damage and a plus 50 hull penetration. So again, for free, this is a cracking piece of kit. So don't forget, New Frontiers, Echoes of Light. Again, staying with the New Frontiers, this is from the Bushfire story arc, and you'll be able to acquire the Engineering House Martok Defensive Configuration. And this is part of a 3-piece set. And you'll get the console, the House Martok Transphasic Torpedo Launcher, and the House Martok Disruptor. And that has a 360-degree energy weapon. Now, I actually use this kit in this build, and you'll see it working as we go through it. And the set powers for this, the 2-piece set gives you a 2.5% critical chance and a plus 15 accuracy rating. The 3-piece set, explosive shearing torpedo modification, special torpedo modes, high yield spread, transport warhead. Launched from this weapon leave behind a minus 20 damage resistance debuff on their target for 6 seconds. Now we've covered a few of the story arcs where you'd be able to pick up some free equipment, and yep, if you prepare to grind for them, you can actually pick them up for free. But I've just briefly this afternoon gone on to the Star Trek Online exchange just to see what the prices are for common disruptor items. So as you can see, we've got some common disruptor beam arrays starting at 17,900. We've got some disruptor dual beam banks at 15,000. And we've got some common cannons at 15,000. Also looking at the consoles, the console tactical disruptor induction coils Mark II. I saw one of them, a common one for 3,500, all the way up to a rare, or a very rare even, at 152,999 EC. So I'm hoping that that is within a free-to-play budget, or anybody on a tight budget with EC. And I hope this helps. Now obviously, as you progress through the game and you want to improve your weapons from common to rare, very rare, ultra rare and epic, the cost also unfortunately goes up in EC. However, if you're a free-to-play player, if you go on to Tour the Galaxy, for example, for 15 minutes, you could end up earning in the region of about 500,000 EC. At which point you could have a decent build here and spend some decent EC on some decent weapons. And I have actually done a video about how to make over 1 million EC. So if you're a free-to-play player and you want to see how you can make over 1 million EC, just have a look at that video and see if that's any help to you. But as I say, Tour the Galaxy, if you have a go at that, you could end up with some decent amount of EC to pick yourself up some decent weapons. Okay, the bridge on this ship is the standard Romulan bridge, which I've taken you around before. It doesn't have its own special bridge, so I'm not going to go touring the ship because you know, you've obviously seen that before. But what I will do is we'll take her out on a run and we'll see how she performs, shall we? So see you in just a few minutes. So here we are on a Japori elite run. Let's put her through her paces and see how she goes, shall we? Well, she certainly made a mess of that, didn't she? Well, my pets are certainly doing their thing. So let's try this console out and see what it does. Well, I've no idea what it did. Well, that's quite cool. The experimental weapon was quite good there, wasn't it? Let's give this chap the good news. Well, I'm very impressed with the flight turn rate on this ship, and also its performance. I'm very impressed with it. Wow, look at that. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed this review of the Dhailkhina, is it? Oh, anyway, won't go there again with that. The Dhailkhina Command Strike Wing Warbird T6-X. Now, if you're not fortunate to pick one of these up in a lockbox, then I'd check out the exchange. The last time I looked on the exchange, this ship was just under 500 million EC, which is cheap really compared to some of the other ships that you can acquire from lot boxes. Some of them are there up at 1 billion. Yes, the inflation rate on EC in the exchange has gone mad, hasn't it? Right, so without further ado, please, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button to catch further reviews. And yes, I wish you all the luck. I hope that you manage to get your hands on one of these ships, because it is well worth it. So, without further ado, this is JeSter signing off.